BBB analyst, of course, Broussard. Good morning.
Good morning.
I will start with Shannon here, though. What's your reaction to this story?
Sad. I'm disappointed. If these allegations are true, that someone, and it's normally family, someone that's close to you, that you trust, although this guy's not blood related, but he's almost like family. He trusted him. LeVar was supposed to be overlooking this also, but I believe LeVar spread himself too thin. Trying to.
You mean like overseeing it?
Overseeing everything.
Right.
You know, he's trying to get Jello into the NBA. He's trying to get LaMelo to a school. Yep. He's got a water company. Right. He's trying to grow Big Baller. And while you're doing all this, there's someone siphoning money from your elder son. Allegedly. Yeah. And it's just sad that this is happening. I'm glad Lonzo is starting to, it looks like he's starting to take ownership of his career.
Sure does.
I mean, if you take his Instagram post at face value, he says, I'm a man now, I'm going to be my man, I'm moving in a different direction. It was reported that the Lakers think that the big ball and shoe might have had something to do with
they asked Lonzo. You think it's the shoes?
Yeah.
It's got to be the shoes.
This is what
he
we
was
know.
Playing in buddies, all right? You know what that is.
Yeah, I know what buddies are. But normally when you start a shoe, there's a lot of R&D that goes into that shoe. I don't know how much research and development went into Big Baller brand. I'm just saying. Skip,
did you get yours? I don't know.
Did you ever get them?
I did, yeah.
Well, what do you think of them? I held them. They look all right, but
I got the first model. If I was the first model. Now, if I was a security guard with a flashlight, you know, and I'm trying to make sure they
Stop.
wear them. They be all right.
They good for that. But that's about it.
Quite an endorsement.
But here's the thing. If I'm Lonzo, Skip, do you know this guy's resume? This guy was sentenced to more than 7 years, pleading guilty to mail fraud and 2 counts of money laundering, defrauding 70 investors of $4 million. And you put him in charge of the money? Come on, Skip. A guy got arrested, spent time in prison for mail fraud and embezzling, and you put him in charge of the money. That makes no sense. You can't, there's no way. I don't care if it's my brother. My brother gonna do time for stealing money. He can't be in charge of my money. Now, somebody else might be fool enough to let him be in charge, but he can't be in charge of mine. So I'm sorry, Lonzo. I hope this is not true. And if it is true, I hope you can recoup everything. But Skip, man, people don't know. People ain't gonna do. I lost some money one time. I lost a big chunk of money one time. And I wanted to put that thing to his head. Real talk, Skip Bayless. But you know what I'm saying? You know what? I go to jail. I'm going to go to jail because I'm going to go to jail. I know I'm going to go to jail. And then my kids were very young then. It wasn't 1.5. It was 500,000, Skip. And the dude took it. A lot of dudes took it. And I really thought about it. I really did think about it.
Friend?
No, he wasn't a friend. It's somebody, you know, I trust. Someone, you know, this guy's doing a good job. I mean, at first he was doing a good job.
Yeah.
But all good things come to an end. And I'm glad the discretion was that, you know, I thought about it. But, man, this is $1.5 million is a lot of money. Right. First of all, if it's $2, I worked hard to get those $2, and you took my money.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Shannon. This is sad, number one. We know this guy, Alan Foster's been up here. We've all had, you know, LeVar's been on the show.
He comes every time with the
Yeah, seemed like a nice guy.
He runs their social media. Yeah.
So it was sad. When I saw the story and his picture, it was just stunned because you had dealt with this guy. And also for all the mistakes that LeVar has made, and there's plenty, with all 3 of his sons. Yeah. I mean, LiAngelo should still be at UCLA.
Sure.
LaMelo should still have college eligibility.
Right.
You know, if he hadn't gone there. I mean, he's done made some major mistakes with those kids. However, you could always say it seemed like he meant well.
Yes.
And I think he did mean well. And he loved this family. So what I hope, because there's reports that the kids have removed the pictures of their dad and Big Baller Brand from Instagram. I hope that the family is not estranged. Now, obviously, you got to get rid of Alan Foster. Yeah. But hopefully, and the dad, I mean, not looking at the emails. You mentioned putting the guy in charge of the money. That was terrible. Not looking at the email from the agent. They sent it in October about all the misdeeds financially. Reportedly, LeVar didn't look at it until a week ago. So that's horrible. So I get why if they're mad with their dad, I get it. But hopefully they will be able to work it out as a family and just be a regular family. Like the dad, you're not involved with my business.
You're a dad.
You're just a dad. You're just a dad. Now, I think, like you said, it's great for Lonzo. He hashtagged on Instagram, my own man. I didn't like him putting the number 2 in the rafters. Just become a legitimate starter first. You know what I mean? Like, but I think we're going to see the best of Lonzo, like whatever that is, whether that's an all-star like Skip may think, or that's just a good starter, whatever. I think he's going to get a better trainer.
Yes.
I think he'll be healthier, whether it's the sneakers or not. I just think we'll see the best of Lonzo going forward. And I would say this, Shannon, and maybe you can relate to it. Sometimes, and I've been a victim, in the black community with the racism historically, and that still goes on today with mass incarceration, with the war on drugs. I know guys that have spent many years in prison. I got some friends that have spent many years in prison. And a lot of times you give them the benefit of the doubt. Because you may think they may have done something wrong, or maybe the system, caught up with them, or you think they're rehabilitated. And now I wouldn't have put him in charge of the money, like you said, but I've been burned by I haven't lost money, and obviously not to this extent, but I've been disappointed. I trusted some guys that have been in prison that I thought they would change their behavior. I thought, and I've ended up disappointed because they didn't act like I thought they would. And so I can understand when LeVar said, I believe the best in people, I can understand how he may have known about this guy's background, but still thought, this is my man, I can trust him.
He wouldn't do that to me.
He was burned.
He wouldn't do that to us, Skip.
Right.
So obviously, I remain a big Lonzo fan, basketball-wise. This just tears me up for how hard his father made it for this kid. Because not only did he just about talk him straight out of the league as the number 2 overall pick, playing point guard for Magic Johnson in his home area of Los Angeles. That's hard enough. But when you say he's better than Steph, he's better than LeBron, blah, 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 it just makes it harder and harder. And we all hark back to Patrick Beverley on opening night. Just said, I'm going to destroy this kid, and I'm going to point to you in the stands, LeVar, because this is for you, not for this poor kid, because he's just an NBA baby. I don't know. This has got to be devastating, embarrassing, completely distracting when you're trying to play basketball and you got this hanging over your head. And this is why I'm so disappointed in LeVar. And I've defended him many times on this show just because he loves his kids to a fault. But LeVar is straight out of Compton, and I thought he had one of the highest BS detectors you could have because he knows the streets.
Right.
He should be able to see it and feel it before it happens. And I'm pretty sure he knew nothing about Alan Foster's background. And when he met Alan Foster, he was fresh out of prison for financial fraud. Worse, if you go back to his records, Alan Foster had gotten busted on a gun charge, carrying a weapon without a permit, and then he violated his probation on top of that. And then he went to, and listen to what the prosecutor said about the financial prosecuting of Alan Foster. He says they targeted African Americans that they got to know through churches and by other means, and they made various misrepresentations of them about their ability to return large sums on investments, which were false. Now, that's just the lowest of the low to me, and that's the guy you chose because he had a son who was in 7th grade with Lonzo at Chino Hills, whatever that middle school would be there, right? And because the sons became buddies, then all of a sudden, Alan Foster was able to buddy up with LeVar, and LeVar just completely bought in and trusted him. And he got flim-flammed, allegedly. Allegedly. Now, think about that. LeVar Ball straight out of Compton getting flim-flammed. I don't think it was like by a friend. He just got to know him, but you got to check people's backgrounds. I just don't think he knew anything about this.
I bet he knew that he had been in prison.
You think so?
Yeah, because he probably knows a lot of guys that have been in prison.
For financial fraud, and then you hand him the keys to your
Maybe he didn't know he was in for financial fraud.
Right.
Maybe, like you said, the gun charge. But the thing is, and you see that a lot of times,
he probably didn't know what it was.
The vulnerable is in church because the last place you expect to be a victim of is in the church.
I know it.
No, but you ain't gonna.
You want to believe the people,
you ain't gonna.
They trying to live for God.
What did they say? Will a man rob God?
Right.
No, he might not rob God, but he'll get you.
But that's a man who has no soul.
None.
No soul.
So,
See, and see, Skip, and when it make you want to hurt somebody, man. This man done worked all his life. I mean, Lonzo worked all his life to be in this situation.
He did.
And you just took this man's money. Maybe if you just asked, well, Lonzo, can you invest in this? Don't man, I hate that. I hate
allegedly.
Yes.
There's a missing 1.5 million.
and look, that whatever he's going to go with Nike, it appears, he's not getting a $10 million deal from them that he would have gotten before.
Nah, he would have.
It might just be we'll give you the product and you can wear it because you just an average player at this point. And the good thing is he found out quickly. This is what his second year.
Yes.
Remember Kevin Garnett lost $77 million.
Tim Duncan.
I know Tim Duncan. I know
killed.
other players who've had friends
I know.
that they brought along with them who, were taking money on the side. So at least he found out
But
early.
Skip, I had this conversation. Remember, I told you, Skip, I said, you got to be careful. I said, you be overbearing, and the kids will turn up bucking and resenting their parents.
Yep.
Todd Marinovich.
I know. That's
Right.
When his dad became overbearing and this and yada, 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 these kids want their own identity. But it's hard for me to believe. I don't believe Big Baller was ever about the kids. Big Baller was about LeVar.
Oh,
This was him.
By the way, there's another BBB called Better Business Bureau. It still gives them an F, says ESPN. It gives them an F because they are not capable of handling online orders.
It might be hard at this point for Lonzo, but maybe a fresh start in the end is going to be a better situation.
And maybe he gets that situation resolved with Alan Foster. He gets this situation resolved with his dad. And Skip, then maybe he can be the player that you believe he can become.
Yeah, and that's what...